Hey, welcome back to What If Movie Reviews. The concept's easy. Every year there are movies that don't get made. The movies that are almost made. Either they lose funding, directors, actors move on, or the studio decides to move in another direction. For whatever reason, there are a plethora of movies that don't quite make it to the theaters. For this episode, we are going back in time to the early 1990s, before Sam Raimi's iconic take on the Spider-Man franchise. Before all the reboots and rights issues, James Cameron had a long-form treatment that he worked up for everyone's favorite waltzing. A lot of the elements would have been seen in the movies produced by Sony with Tobey Maguire, but it would have been a completely unconventional take on the wall crawler. So, let's go back in time and let's see what this movie would have been. Hey fanboys, Spider-Man premiered last night. And boy was it a doozy. We finally get to see Peter Parker on film. I mean, who would have thought? This movie was a take on our friendly neighborhood Spider-Man that I didn't expect, but I can kind of understand the studio's decisioning with it. The direction makes sense in trying to cram decades of backstory and whatnot into a 2-hour film. Coming off his hits with Aliens and the Terminator films, I would not have expected James Cameron to helm this film, but apparently it was a passion project for him. It is definitely not aimed at kids. The action is about par for a PG-13 movie, but the language and drama, that's what's going to earn this the R rating. Not sure if that was wise of the production company's part, but we'll see how opening weekend goes and if a superhero film can be successful with an R rating. Good and bad. Let's list some of the highlights of the film and my thoughts on them. Organic web shooters. Good and bad. I wish Peter could have made his own webbing in his devices like he did in the comics, and I understand the shift with the DNA changes being so prominent in the plot, so I can kind of get that. Also, I'm not really a fan of Peter's powers that allowed him to control an army of spiders. Casting. I had originally heard that Leonardo DiCaprio was going to play Harry Osborn. Edward Furlong was set to play Peter. Thankfully, they changed that before filming because no one wants to see an emo Peter Parker. DiCaprio was a passable Peter Parker. I mean, he wasn't that bad, but it wasn't his best performance. Furlong plays Harry very similar to John Connor. He does convey the spoiled nature of Harry very well and plays good off of DiCaprio's Peter. Drew Barrymore as Gwen Stacy was an atrocious casting, as was Nikki Cox's MJ. Lance Henriksen as Norman Osborn, Green Goblin, he was passable. He wasn't great, but he got the job done. And there are rumors that Arnold Schwarzenegger is going to be in the sequel as Doc Ock. That will be interesting to see his take on an iconic supervillain. Language. Cameron definitely wrote this script, apparently while he was working on the R-rated films previously, and the language in this movie shows. Having Peter Parker throwing down some R-rated language is a departure from the source, but we'll see how it plays out with the audience. And the drama. This one sex scene was a little creepy. It came off as kind of rapey when Peter was describing how some spider species force themselves onto their mates. I mean, not exactly good pillow talk, especially for your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man. Overall thoughts. The movie was pretty disappointing, but not a complete loss. DiCaprio has room to grow, and they are doing a good job of setting up Furlong's Harry as a protagonist for future films. I'm excited to see what kind of direction they're going to go with the sequels, and I wonder if there's a future for R-rated superhero films. So we'll have to see. And what do you think about Arnold? Do you think he's going to do well or not? Hey, thanks for checking out What If Movie Reviews. Let me know in the comments what you thought. Be sure to head over to my Talking Book series. Also check me out on social media on Facebook and Twitter. Like, share, and subscribe for more content like this. What did you think about What If Movie Reviews? Comment below and let me know.